Hi everyone, welcome back to the audit and attestation class. In this class, we'll be understanding in detail about the Department of Labor, that is DOL, and also we'll be doing certain practice questions. So let's dive into. Now we are coming to Department of Labor, DOL. So in US, there is a separate department which is called Department of Labor, and like how in India we have different department of Government of India, same way there is a separate department for the Government of United States of America is called Department of Labor Laws, right? In the labor laws, like in US, there are more than 180 labor laws, right? And this Department of Labor take care of all those 180 plus labor laws, right? But for our CPA education, for our CPA study purpose, and for our CPA practice purpose, there are only these 5 or 6 laws which are more relevant for us, right? First one is Fair Labor Standard Law. Second is Worker Compensation Law. Third is Occupational Safety and Health Act. Fourth is Employee Retirement Income Security Act. Fifth is Consolidation Omni-Budget Reconciliation Act. This is also called COBRA Act. And Health Insurance and Accountability Act, which is also called HIA. And the last one is Family and Medical Leave Act. So these are the 6 laws for which we should be studying, right, for our CPA purpose. In addition to that, in Department of Labor, there are more than 180 laws. We all should not be bothered about rest of them, right? So let's understand what these 6 laws says and why these are being relevant for our CPA study purpose and CPA practice purpose in future. First one is Fair Labor Standard Law. So Fair Labor Standard Law is basically talked about the minimum wages. You know, in India also we have Minimum Wages Act. Do you know? Do you have any idea what is Minimum Wage Act? Have you heard about it?
Yes, minimum wages are minimum amount of wages per day which is to be paid to the labor that is decided by the state.
Yes. So same way in US also, Fair Labor Standard Law fix the minimum wages. And this keep on changing year over year based on the inflation index and different parameters which government decided fit for the consideration of the minimum wage, right? Second is overtime. So overtime in US as per the Fair Labor Standard Law should be 1.5 times of the original pay. So whatsoever is the normal pay you are giving to your employee, if your employee is serving overtime over and above the normal business hours, over and above the committed hours, then you have to pay 1.5 times per hour of the original pay as an overtime, right? Make sense? Next
Yes,
is
sir.
for non-agriculture operation. For non-agriculture operation, there are certain restricted hours for labor under the age of 16. So under the age of 16, labor can work in the agriculture field, that is allowed in US, but for the non-agriculture, they cannot work for more than 6 hours, right? So there are certain restrictions for the labor who is under the age of 16 to work in a non-agriculture sector. Agriculture sector, they can work full day, but in non-agriculture sector, they cannot work for more than 40 hours in a week or 6 hours in a day. So those all kind of restrictions are there. Next is restriction to employee under the age of 18 on certain jobs. So where the company are using hazardous component, or where it is, you can say, heavy equipments or components or machineries, right? So which company is using? In those companies, there are certain restrictions to employee for age under 18. So you cannot employ on a regular basis for any person who is age under 18 to those company who are using like heavy materials, equipments, hazardous components, or chemicals or something like that, right? In those companies, you cannot appoint full time for an employee who has age less than 18 years. So these all laws and regulations comes under the Fair Labor Standard Law. Fair Labor Standard Law is very big, but here is the crux of the story, which is being relevant for your CPA examination, right? You cannot say like the law is of just 4-pointer, but these are the 4 points which is being relevant and important for your CPA practice and CPA examination, right? So what we are covering here is what is being required for the CPA examination, right? If you want to go in more deep, feel free to download those respective law and study them, right? Next one is worker compensation law. Workers compensation law, here like employer to buy the insurance, enforce the employer to buy the insurance for the employee's injury on job, including the occupational hazard. So worker compensation law enforce the employer, the companies, that they should buy the insurance for their employee who are for their injuries, or if they are working in any hazardous environment, right? For example, like minings, construction worker, chemical operations, right? In those companies, it is mandatory for them to buy insurance for their employees because of worker compensation law, right? Next is Occupational Safety and Health Act. So in this, employer should maintain workplace free from recognized and serious hazard for safety and health purpose of its employee. So for example, if you are dealing with hazardous component, right, then also it is being your responsibility from the normal routine workspace, you should ensure the appropriate safeguard of those hazardous components. It should not be like the chemicals are just lying here and there, or maybe hazardous components are lying here and there, or maybe RDX is lying here and there, right? So those things you need to ensure and maintain the safety protocol, right? Next one is Employee Retirement Income Security Act. This is called ERISA, Employee Retirement Income Safety Act. ERISA regulate employer who offer pension or welfare benefit plans. So it's like there are some company, or in some company it is being required to offer a pension or welfare benefits. Like the company who are having more than 100 employees are required to have pension schemes, right, or the welfare plans. So those companies' respective plans are being regulated under the Employee Retirement Income Security Act. So Title 1 of the ISRA said, fourth, the disclosure and reporting requirement. So if your company is providing employee benefits plan or pension plans or any other welfare plan, so it make you mandatory to disclose those plans, the opening balance of the plans, current addition in the plans, current release of the funds from the plan, and the closing balance. So these disclosures are being mandatory under the ERISA, right? So whenever you are making the financial statement, it is being your responsibility to disclose those information, right? Why those disclosure is required as per Title 1 of ERISA. Title 4 says require certain employer to fund the pension benefit gratuity corporations. So there are certain trusts in the US which take the funds and then they do the payment to the respective employees as and when it comes due. So it's being responsibility of the employer to contribute to those funds when they are having a gratuity scheme. Last one is EBP, Employee Benefit Plan Audit. So employee benefit plan audit is also mandatory, is also required from the independent auditor, and if the employer has more than 100 members in the EBP plan. So I know like some of you are working in like offshore environment, so you might have heard about EBP, right? Employee benefit plans. Have you heard about, any of you have any experience working on EBP audit? Yeah, Gurmihar, Kush. Kush, are you in class?
Yes, sir, I'm here. But EVP I've heard, never worked on EVP audits.
Okay, no problem. So wherever the employer have more than 100 employees to whom they are providing employee benefit plans, that is the retirement benefit plans. So they need to do the either the contribution, like how in India, how many of you have studied like AS15 in India, employee benefit plans? So maybe some of you are chartered accountant. I'm sure you might have studied. Have you guys heard about employee benefits? What is that accounting standard says?
Remembered only up till exams or after that. Forgot.
Do not remember after the exam. Okay, Ayush, anyone else have any idea? Employee benefit plans under accounting standard 15 of India? No? Okay, no worries.
There will be like two types of plans, like when employer will contribute to government, or else employer will have its own benefit plan.
Yeah. So one is contribution plan and second is defined benefit plans, right? So in the contribution plan, the employer contribute the respective contribution from the employer side and employee side to the respective third party, whether it's an insurance company or it's an NGO, it's a trust, right? The other way, like employer can maintain the employee benefit plan at their own, right? In the case of scenario when the employer maintain the employee benefit plan at their own through the EBP, where they have more than 100 employees participant, then it is mandatory for them to have EBP accounts audited by the independent auditor. Right? Make sense? Simple?
Yes, sir.
Next one is Consolidation Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act, or a COBRA Act, and Health Insurance and Accountability Act, which is called HIAA. So this is being administered by EBSA, which is Establishment Board Standard of Accountability, and COBRA benefits are provided to employee after they leave their position. So once like employee leave, then they will get certain health insurance benefit or COBRA benefits. For example, let's say you are working as a director of any company, right? And the company has given you post-retirement benefits, which include your health insurance for the next 5 years of your retirement, right? That comes under the Consolidation Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act and the Health Insurance and Accountability Act, right? So those kind of benefit which you will get even after the retirement, other than employee benefit plan, right? For example, you can say you're getting an accommodation up to next 2 years after your retirement from the company side. Like a lot of government employee, they will get like 6 month additional accommodation after the retirement, so that they can do the transition of their you can say premises, and they can go out from the government premises to their own premises or the rented premises, right? So those kind of benefit which like your company is providing even after your relieving or even after your retirement. So that comes under this COBRA Act and Health Insurance and Accountability Act. Next is Family and Medical Leave Act. Family and Medical Leave Act is for the birth of child, adoption of any child, or maybe serious injury or illness of any parents or your dependent, right? In that case of scenario, you are being allowed up to 12-week unpaid job, right? That means you can take up to 12 weeks. That means 3 months you can take the leave without pay, but your employer will not terminate you from the employment, even though you are on leave for 3 months. So that is, I know some of you might have heard about sabbatical. Have you heard about sabbatical leaves?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
So sabbatical leaves are of like 2 types. For like blue collar, it is being for the birth, adoption, serious illness of any of their family member, right? And in addition to this, like in CPA forms like PwC, they also provide you like sabbatical leaves for higher education also, right? This all comes under the Family and Medical Leave Act, which are sabbatical for the adoption, for the birth, for serious injury of any of your family member. Up to 12 weeks, your employer cannot terminate you, right? That gives the security to the employee. Like in case of any urgency, they can take up to 12 weeks of leaves, right? But this is applied to the employer who have more than 50 employees, right? So these are 6 laws which as a CPA we should be aware of, comes under the Department of Labor, right? Any doubt here? So far so good?
So ये EBSA
Definition of EBSA.
हाँ right, EBSA की full form क्या था?
Second, yeah, let me check.
Sir, is it Employee Benefit Security Administration kind of?
Employee Benefit Security Administration, yes.
Okay.
Security Administration.
No? Right. Oh, ideally this should be in bracket. Okay, thank you. So, like I said, Department of Labor administers more than 180 federal laws, but CPA should be aware of like few laws to comply with this duties and responsibility, which we have covered here, right? So let's do some practice question. Individuals covered to be members covered by independent rule of Department of Labor in performing audit of employee benefit plans. Under the Department of Labor, what rules will be applied? Independence rules of GAO, right? So keeping those independence rules which we have studied in first page, just keep those in mind and let's try to answer this. So individual considered to be a members covered by independence rules of the DOL in performing audit of employee benefit plan include what? All professional employee of the public accounting firm, all partner, partner equivalent, shareholder, employee and public shareholder, employee of the public accounting firm, all partner, partner equivalent or shareholder employee located in the same office location as the lead partner or engagement, all partner, partner equivalent or shareholder employee that perform employee benefit audit. So what do you feel is right and why?
It should be everyone would be covered because it's like applicable to a particular entity who is conducting those government audits. So naturally, it should be applicable to all the members and not just pertaining to a specific area or that particular assignment. This is maybe it should be the second one.
How about others? Sandeep, Kush,
No, sir, I don't have any logic to answer, to be frank here.
Sir, we have
I'm not
discussed
able
this
to find a
question
logic
previously.
to answer this question, sir. It's very confusing to me.
No, we have already covered this question. Yes,
Yes,
the
sir,
question
we
is-
have.
Yes, sir.
Sir, we have-
Even then I didn't understood because you said that we will be discussing in deep in DOL. I was like, okay, we will listen over there.
No, like we have already covered this question earlier.
The
Like,
topic we have covered members. I agree, sir.
mhm.
But individuals
in the-
considered to be covered by the independent rules of department in performing the audits of employee benefit plan means individual relatives, immediate family, all those people, sir.
No, what is covered member?
Sir, covered members who are partners, shareholders, and of the engagement team.
Everyone from the
Engagement
engagement.
Irrespective of the situation, or irrespective of the meeting that has been done. Irrespective of that, we will have to consider all the things in a covered member. Irrespective of the engagement, you can say.
Yeah. How about others?
Sir, we have covered this in the cover when we are
have done
doing
this question already. Yes. So when we are doing like
We were covering the definitions and all, where we covered the covered member, and then after, we did it then.
Right. So this is all the partners, partner equivalent or shareholder employee and the of the public accounting firms are covered members, right? So whosoever is being participated or like doing the audit of the employee benefits. So next question we have, what is the name of document that employee benefit plan with 100 or more participant must file along with the result of the audit to the Department of Labor under the provision of Title 1 of ISRA. So this also we covered like IRS form 5500. Do you remember like this question like we did on software?
Yes, sir. Yes.
1040 for income tax returns.
Yeah.